to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, where today we are getting holidayzed with Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, the first of which was released on November 16th, 1990, the second one released on November 20th, 1992, both written for the screen by John Hughes, legendary filmmaker of the 80s, and directed by Chris Columbus. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you, and today we are celebrating the Christmas season with a couple of classics. How are you feeling about Home Alone and Home Alone 2?
Well, I know Home Alone. I know the first one. I've known it for a long, long time, and it was this watch of Home Alone 2 that actually made me realize, damn, I've actually never seen this movie.
No shit.
It was a first viewing. And I'm like, because I looked at some of the shots, I'm like, man, nothing is ringing a bell whatsoever. But I'm like, whenever the scenes play out, I'm like, I'll put it together and I'll be like, oh yeah, no, I know this one. I'm like,
and that just never occurred. That never happened.
Not at all. So it was this really weird viewing of, I swear I've seen it, but I truly don't think I have. But the first one, we had this VHS.
Right.
This was on the TV around the holiday times for sure. And then I'd say, it didn't really have to be Christmas time for Home Alone to be thrown on. It was one that was quite often. The first one I do know quite well. But yeah, it was crazy of a I've never really had this like the reverse of like a I think I've seen this movie, and then while watching it, no, I actually haven't, and then just got to sit back and like actually experience it for the first time, and it was cool. But yeah, so very nice that it did come during the Christmas time as well. Like this, it felt just extra right, and I don't know, very very much so the same movies, just in different locations. And they went up and took it up a notch.
Yeah, that's exactly why we aren't separating these episodes. One takes place in the Chicago suburbs, one takes place in New York. Functionally, the exact same movie, the exact same premise. Now, New York does get bigger. It's a grander story. Kevin is actually out for blood. In Lost in New York, he has murder on his mind in the second one, which I don't think you can say in the first one. Second one, he's like, second one, he's going full Ivan Drago with it. If he dies, he dies. He's ready to accept the burden that would be a life on his conscience. And now these are both movies for me. You said this was a first viewing for you for the second one. I've watched both of these movies every year for 20 years. As far back as my mind as far back as I remember Christmas season, watching movies around the holidays. Home Alone and Home Alone 2 always got watched, and it was almost always on the same day. So I kept that tradition going yesterday and everything. This will not be the last time I watch these this holiday season, because I watched them with my family. So, I tried to organize it to where that would be what we did, but unfortunately I will have to watch them again. And I say unfortunately, it's not the worst thing in the world. These are fun movies. But where the second one had a little novelty for you, I've watched these into the fucking ground. These movies are almost more atmospheric for me than they are fun, practical. Oh yeah, I like paying attention to them doesn't feel necessary because I know the movie so fucking well. I've seen it so many times. I've watched it into the dirt. And obviously I did that, but it made me realize how little I do that with these movies. In the years past, it's just kind of like on, and I'm around my family, and it's Christmas season, and it's that time of year, so it's fun to it made me realize how little I've paid attention to the movie really in the past, or how I've never been zeroed in on it from front to back. It's just always on. And like I said, I do love them. I think they are super fun movies. And I think that, with, Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister, that's one of the best child performances ever. That's just, I mean, it's so funny, it's so sweet, and he's so good at it. But the movie really, really hinges on Catherine O'Hara, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. Like those three performances, I think. I mean, obviously Macaulay is the important performance, but if you don't have the caring mom or the two stooges that are trying to fight him, I don't think that these movies are nearly as fun.
Yeah, and just Joe Pesci. It's crazy that this is my. I gotta think the earliest thing.
Oh, it absolutely is for me.
There's not. This is for sure what he started out as, and then he's like actually always a real mobster. After that, like he actually is hard as shit.
Yeah. He was actually kind of scary on set and stuff like that. Like Macaulay Culkin was afraid of Joe Pesci.
In real life.
In real life. That's he was funny. Actually afraid of Joe Pesci.
Because Goodfellas came
in 1990. That was the same year as Home Alone. So big year for Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci was that was a big money making year for Mr. Pesci. He also in 1992 also did My Cousin Vinny, which also got Oscar nominated and everything. So
parents love that movie.
My Cousin Vinny's incredible. So he had whenever it came to a Home Alone movie, he was also doing another massive movie that year. And I mean the 90s were big for Joe Pesci, also Casino and all that good stuff. But obviously a close Scorsese collaborator. And we got Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd as Kevin McAllister's parents in this movie. They have teamed up in a movie once before, once that I know of, and it was 1985's After Hours, directed by Martin Scorsese, as Catherine O'Hara is one of the women who Griffin Dunn's character is running all over the city trying to find, and then she's the one who draws up the poster of him, and, all that stuff. Yeah, it's... And John Hurd's the bartender who can't find his key, like who gives him his keys and all that stuff. So they've been in a movie before together, and they only have one scene together, I think, in After Hours. But now they're playing the married couple here in Home Alone, which is just a funny, interesting connection when you consider the Scorsese impact on O'Hara, Hurd, and Pesci all coming together in this movie. I think that's funny.
Dang, yeah, and for a very different feel, or very different vibe entirely. And I mean, I agree with you in the way that like Home Alone has been watched so much that like it has reached a I'm not really watching the movie anymore. I know what the movie is, and just hearing it in the background.
I know exactly what is happening at any given point. And I'm sorry, I won't interrupt. Keep going. Sorry.
No, but this viewing was a little different, just because for the pod, I feel like every viewing I do kind of dissect a little more, go a little deeper than I normally would. But that's just kind of how I like to view movies, anyways. Now I like if a movie's on, I'm viewing. But no, these were just so ran through just in the childhood that it was like. I knew from the first one, it's like I clearly know that I watched this one because I knew every single thing that was about to come up, and maybe I got a little bit more out of like the old man, or like the little speech they give at the end, or like you talk in the church, or like the between the parents. Like maybe there's a little more that I'm getting out of it, but not truly. But it's crazy that like. I can still enjoy this movie after watching it so many times, and how like the comedy itself is like it is very childhood, or like it's just guys getting hurt.
It's slapstick comedy. There's almost like if you put like one of the old timey and you made it black and white and you sped up the frame rate a little bit, they would look like they were this could be a silent film whenever it comes to the wacky smash and grab stuff later on in the movie. And I mean all the way throughout it, really. I think this could almost, the first one specifically, could almost certainly be a great silent movie if they wanted to go that way. But obviously, marketing it for kids, that would be a nightmare. it's a ton of fun. It's always going to be a ton of fun, and that's something that, like, nostalgically, these are essentials. You know, like, these are always going to be something that I like. Like I said, I've watched this every year for 20 years. Both of these every year for 20 years, and I will watch them every year for the next 20 years. Also, like, that won't stop because it's Christmas time and Home Alone needs to get watched. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's funny seeing Macaulay Culkin, you know, all grown up and stuff. He's like entirely married to Brenda Song, London Tipton, from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and all that stuff. Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior, just you know, real coming together of our childhoods there. But yeah, no, it's always fun to revisit these movies, and they're extremely simple. And like you were saying, you maybe got a little bit more out of the you know, the old man with the shovel and the bird lady. But those are the kind of elements that really, I don't know, those are what make a Christmas movie, I think. You know, like this random kindness to the stranger who he thought was scary, and then he forgives you know, he lets it go, and he's like, oh, you know what, you're all right. You know, I think that's I love how sweet that is, and I think that, you know, obviously it is the exact same thing across these two movies, as is pretty much every other element of it. But I don't know, like, there's something strange about how charming it is, to where I don't really punish the second movie for being a remake of the first one. I don't know, like, it's still super fun. And there's a part of me that wants to say I'm partial to the second one. Like, I almost prefer it, but it's just how big it is. Like, I love New York. Like, I love imagery of New York, and New York at Christmas time specifically is always going to be like, whoa, that's pretty. Like, that is the Mecca of the United States. Like, that's where the magic happens. Everything's better in New York. So Chicago suburb versus New York City, I typically go New York City, but you know, even if it has, you know, a small role reserved for a fanatical right-wing grifter who is just an absolute fucking loser, and of course I'm talking about Rob Schneider.
Oh wait, who did he put? Wait, who is
Rob Schneider? Is the bellhop.
The face.
The bellhop who keeps asking for a tip. He's also in a bunch of Adam Sandler movies.
Okay. Oh yes, this guy. Wow. Is it? I didn't know. I didn't know any IRL stuff about him.
No, yeah. I mean, he's one of the guys who's like, I'm getting canceled for what I believe, but really he's just not that funny. You know. And yeah, and I was making a joke about it actually being. But no, I get. But they're both. They're both a problem.
Oh man, no. Yeah, what was this actually like a cameo in the sense of, all right, we're going to the Grand, what's the hotel called? The
Plaza.
Grand Plaza Hotel? Is that it?
I think it's just the Plaza Hotel.
Yeah. But like, was it just, we need a rich motherfucker that would stay here, and then that's who they thought, or like they were just
I'm not mistaken, they filmed it at the Trump Hotel. I think this is a Trump hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Since he was a real estate magnate before he was of any actual consequence to everybody. He was a real estate mogul who, you know, built the biggest buildings in New York City and stuff like that. So I can't remember if this was filmed at a Trump hotel. It's the only reason I can think of why they actually did reserve a cameo for him. Like kind of a, if you're gonna shoot in my hotel, you know, you're gonna have to. The camera loves me. You're gonna have to put me on screen. Yep, down the hall to the left.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he just owned the Plaza Hotel at the time. Because isn't like that he didn't make that, right? Like that wasn't his. Like this is a long hotel that's been there. I don't know. I feel like I've just heard of the Plaza Hotel.
No,
like
yeah,
yeah.
I don't believe that's something he built from the ground up. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. But
and he didn't build any of it from the ground up. To be fair,
that's true. This is true. If he
I don't wanna get too
personally
political.
laid a single brick, even in ceremonial purposes, I'd be surprised.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but no, wow, yeah, it was a weird. We didn't know at the time. He was just in here and he'd be like, "Oh, look, that's Donald Trump, the guy that says you're fired on TV." And then now it's like, oh,
That's the current president of the United States. Yeah. It's bizarre.
what the fuck timeline did we hop into?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's strange.
But
It's
no.
bizarre.
At least these are much simpler time. I don't know. Like this is 1990, and movies can just be made like this. A movie like this can't really be made anymore, and I don't know why.
I was actually talking about that with my parents the other day because they were watching the Bourne movies. They were watching Bourne Identity, the first one from like 2000. And my dad was like, me and your mom were just talking about this. Why don't they make movies like this anymore?
Yeah.
Like big budget blockbusters where, and I'm like, there's just no company's interested in making them anymore. There's nothing that's mid budget. It's all either low budget or $300 million fucking dollars. And there's nothing that is in this vein. And, Home Alone is a little bit more of I would say a little bit better of an example of something they don't really do anymore because there's always going to be action movies, but more often than not, they're like kind of schlocky. They're compared to like I said, the only person still making movies that have anything on the Bourne, like any element of the Bourne movies is Christopher Nolan. As far as like getting the resources to do whatever he wants, like Tenet is like the last movie I can think of that was like comparable to those. I mean, Michael Bay's had a couple with like Ambulance and stuff like that. So it's not dead, by any stretch, but, compared to the early 2000s, I mean, it's dying to be sure. And obviously since the last time we recorded for It's a Wonderful Life, there was a pretty major development in Hollywood, which is that Netflix is buying Warner Brothers Discovery, which is about as nightmarish a scenario as is possible for that whole situation.
Now, Donald Trump could make this all actually, this cameo makes, it could be good if they actually block it. Like there is a potential of it being blocked and like it having, because it is such a monopoly.
Yeah, it'd be a monopoly. But there's also this fact that like, I don't think anyone in power presently actually gives a fuck about monopolies.
I heard that there's one fucker in like his cabinet or really close that's been making deals or something, and he's like a CEO of a company that's not really doing well right now. And then so now he's in the cabinet, and apparently he has some stake in like Paramount. Oh, I think that's it. He was the Paramount CEO, and he definitely would not want this to go through. So that's kind of like where I'm hoping out that maybe it's like it is just like Paramount's dying wish of not letting this happen, because if it does, then Paramount is dead and everything else is dead, and it'd just be bad for movie theaters too, like Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, has been on record many times as saying, nobody wants to go to the movie theater anymore. Nobody likes it. Why wouldn't we want to just watch it from home, and all that good stuff? So, Warner Brothers is a pretty historic studio who, for better or worse, they've there's about, arguments to be had about, big studio, all that good, it's a lot. But I don't know. There's a lot of history there, and for it to just kind of be like, and now it's Netflix's, is kind of nightmarish. They sent out an email that was like, we're buying Warner Brothers. So HBO Max and, they will still be separate streaming services, because of course they will, because that just means they'll make more money. They don't have to package it all together and make it one streaming service, because that's actually, regardless. In this email, they were like, we'll be bringing together beloved franchises like the DC Universe, Harry Potter, something, I can't remember what, but one of them that they mentioned amongst these beloved franchises was Casablanca. What?
And I was like, all right, so y'all just had AI draft up this fucking email for you real quick, or you're a fucking idiot.
The franchise,
beloved franchise,
welcome in
Casablanca
universe. You know,
Yeah.
we're bringing it back.
It's like Jesus Christ. Oh my God, that's fucking bleak. Yeah. Regardless, I. Oh my God, yeah. So all that has just been pissing me the fuck off the last couple days, and I'm hoping all that gets blocked. And it's a big movie thing. It had to come up at some point. I wasn't gonna skip out on it. But yeah,
Donnie T was right there.
Netflix.
You know,
Donnie T.
You know, he could actually do something about it, and let's see if
we'll see.
it actually comes out and pans out. But yeah, I guess he's 2-3 seconds on screen, and he is just enough to do it. But no, you said that you were if you were partial to any of the movie, you actually prefer the second one over the first.
And I mean, it's marginal, you know what I'm saying? Because again, they are functionally the same. And upon like watching them and paying attention and locking in on them, I don't know if I entirely feel that way. That's kind of historically how I felt. The second one is longer and unnecessarily so. And I don't know if it's literally longer runtime wise. It feels longer. It did for me anyway. And let's see. I don't think it needed to be.
Yeah, 1 is an hour 40, and then
2 is only like 10 minutes longer. Then
I think it's 2 hours.
I think it's an hour.
Oh, just straight at 2 hours, I guess.
Oh, it's straight at 2 hours. Okay,
so,
gotcha. Okay, 20 minutes longer. Which, yeah, I mean, that's a bit. I think that's a bit long in the tooth for a movie as simple as these are. And. Yeah. I struggle to find where that went, like, did we spend more time with what? I'm not even really sure how this movie's 20 minutes longer, but it feels a lot longer. And I think that's the problem, is that there's nothing story-wise that feels like it's that big of a divergence from the first one, but it still somehow feels so much longer to me than the first one did. So that's something that made me kind of evaluate it upon like really paying attention to the movies, is that the first one is probably a better movie. However, there's some shots in the second one that I love. There's a shot of at the end of the movie whenever they're embracing in front of the Rockefeller tree, and it's just them hugging and the lights are blurred out in the background, but that's all that the background is. Oh my God, fucking gorgeous. I loved that image. And obviously this is something that goes under the radar whenever you talk about his greatness. John Williams scored these movies.
Yeah.
What? The
No
Carol
way.
of the Bells, the classic Christmas tune that you hear, that's kind of a motif in a ton of Christmas stuff now, is a John Williams original
He just
song.
made that?
Yeah.
Wait, this is not like a long ass, like 1800 ass. What? That is actually that's wild. That is. I thought that this was just a Christmas song.
These are John Williams
Wow.
compositions. So like, again, one of those things that just flies under the radar in his greatness is how many movies he's done, period, and how many iconic movies he's done. Because this doesn't even come up in those conversations typically about his greatness.
Yeah.
But one of the best things about Home Alone is its music.
Man,
Like it plays so perfectly. In this context, and so there's a lot. There is a lot to like here, and John Williams, I think, is one of the premier top dogs as far as what there is to like.
Yeah, this I did not know it was him. I kind of thought they just used actually established Christmas music, and it was like, that's crazy. Maybe that's just how established it is in my brain, my childhood growing up. Like it just already was, and so I just took it as Christmas. But no, like I have it in the background. I always try to have little ambiences going and stuff. And yeah, now that it's crazy that it's so iconic. Like any little part of it, you know what movie you're in so fast. Like with him, or like with any of his soundtracks. And that's, man, I like to add that in his lexicon is just wild. Like amongst everything he already has, that Home Alone is actually like not not a shining example, I feel like, but any other producer, like this might be like one of the top of their resumes. I don't know, it's crazy how buried like it is in his repertoire. But no, I guess going back on the first and second one, I think I just know the first one, and the first one does have nostalgia, and like it is very cozy. It is one house, like his house. But then, like New York, I do like it does look way better. Like in Christmas, it's turned up to the max, but it is more of like on the run and like and not as cozy, I guess.
I agree. The first one has the first one's relatable in a capacity. Like not that everyone's been left home alone, but the prospect of having to defend yourself in your house using your resources, like that's why I think that the first one does have an edge on the second one. I just think that the grandiosity of the second one kind of makes it, and as classic as the first one's maladventures are when it comes to him punishing them for invading his home. The second one just fucking kills me when it gets to the end. Like I love the absurdity of Marv getting hit in the head with a brick from 3 stories up 3 times in a row. Like, brother, he is so toast, it's not even funny. Like his skull should be smashed. And I think that is like, that shit is hysterical. There's something that me and my dad quote all the time, and it the context, no idea why, just something that gets thrown around a lot is, wow, what a hole. I don't know why that shit always fucking kills me.
What a line to say. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
What a hole.
What a hole. Like it, well, I don't know what it reminds me of, but it's like just something so far away from Home Alone that it reminds me of. But yeah, like I think it might just be the amount of brain damage that Marv experienced, and he's just not quite the normal person anymore. Yeah, but
it kills me.
Yeah, I took the first time I took down all of the injuries that happened to each.
I saw that on Letterboxd. That was so funny. Yeah. Your entire review was just what happened to Marv and Harry, which is so good.
And on the second one, I guess I was eating too much. I was snacking, and I started, and then I'm like, oh, my screen's too. I keep cleaning my hands too much to go back to my phone. And I'm like, I'm just gonna eat and enjoy. Yeah. And it was also my first viewing, so I didn't want to have to like.
He lights Joe Pesci's head on fire.
Yes, twice in both movies. Like, bro is insane. Like, kind of almost, not quite out for blood in the first one, like you said, but no, like in the second one, I love that he goes by the like children's hospital first to get like motivation. He needs to see the kids or like see that sick kid through the window.
Pre-venging, which I think is incredible.
Like, all right, now I'm locking in. He's like, he could have just walked straight to the toy store or like wherever to get his stuff set up, but he's like, no, I need this motivation. Not to mention, right now.
And I love that it's because he's trying to do a good deed so that like Christmas forgives him, as it were, which is so fucking funny. Like one of the funniest aspects of the first one is that Kevin is pretty sure, is like almost certain that he made his family disappear. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a little kid, he's like certain that my wish did this, and there's no reason for him to believe it didn't. And then it happens again in the second one whenever she shows up, and he's like, this kid thinks he's a Christmas god, which is so fucking funny. I love that in the first one, they have to justify something, with a call from the mom, which is that their phones are out at the house.
Mm-hmm.
He can't make calls from there, and they can't call the house, which is a good right around. The second one, no such thing exists. The fact that this kid could have called the police at any time is so fucking funny, and he's just like, nah, I've got this. Like, that's incredible. He knows exactly when a burglary is going to take place. And he's like, nah, I've dealt with these motherfuckers before. I could do it again. That is so goddamn funny. He's like trying to gather evidence, whereas if he would have just called the police and been like, hey, the sticky bandits will be here at this time, like...
the sticky bandits,
no longer the wet bandits!
you gotta have a trademark. You can't just be
Shut up,
a
Marv.
regular burglar. You know, we gotta leave our mark. And it's like, and then at the end of it, it's like, yeah, thank you for turning on the faucet so we know every single house that you hit, by the way.
Make sure when you write it down, we're the wet bandits. Yeah, like, Marv, shut the fuck up. You know, I love it. It is like, that's why I'm like, I will always love these movies no matter what, because they are so goddamn funny. Like they just tickle me, dude.
Yeah.
And it is largely because
humor.
of these two. Yeah. And I mean, like, there's a lot of like written comedy too, you know, like I do think that Macaulay Culkin is actually really, really talented comedically. I think he's super funny. Which is an element of the movie that I don't think I've ever really given him a ton of credit for.
Yeah. The whole back and using the films of Keep the Change, You Filthy Animal.
Yeah.
That was always classic. Are those real movies, by the way?
No, they're not. Those are movies for the Home Alone movies.
I think so. But, I mean, hey, It's a Wonderful Life and The Grinch both being shown on the TVs.
They do make an appearance. They do.
That was kind of nuts. You know, I guess it makes sense. They're like just showing classic Christmas movies. But like for me, It's a Wonderful Life just came into my own head. A week, you know, just this year, you know, this year, if not this week, you know, past week. So it's like I just now could recognize that it is the classic Christmas movie that it is. But yeah, I didn't know if the ones he used throughout the movies, you know, and in the second one of, you know, get out of here, the Nasty Pervert, that was actually his uncle that he recorded, but then he still uses the second movie, or I guess a sequel, I don't know, of the whatever.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 10.
Yeah,
get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property. 1, 2, 10.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Oh, he loved that Tommy gun.
Change, you filthy animal. Yeah, it's a lot of classic lines from a fake movie. In this movie, which is super funny. Those lines have become like probably the most iconic from the movie, which is funny.
Yeah. It's a fake movie within the movie. That is wild. A line that isn't even in the actual movie, but it is in a way becomes the most iconic line of the movie. Yeah, but I guess it's more that he he mouths it. Well, I know he mouths in the second one, you know, very clearly, like in the hotel room, he like even comes back and looks straight at the camera. Does he ever actually mouth the "Keep the Change, you filthy animal," or is it just? I don't know if it's
not in the first one.
corner.
I don't think. Yeah, he does in the second one.
But yeah, no, that's. I mean, other than all the traps and stuff.
No, she wasn't. She was smooching your brother. No, you weren't. Yeah. You were smooching my brother. See? I fucking I love that.
And Mel and Biv and Jip. And then actually one of the employees' names was
Cliff.
Had one of those names, and it was like,
well, and that's Tim Curry, the main like hotel manager guy is Tim Curry, who's just an incredible actor. He was the original Pennywise in the original adaptation of It.
Wow.
He was Dr. Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show, like the main drag queen that you see. That's Tim Curry. I mean, just a really legendary actor, and just a cool. He does this little smile at some point in the movie where it's like, you should have been the Grinch at some point, which is obviously kind of what they're doing whenever he does that smile. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Dang, just Jim Carrey. What is this same time period? As the
the Grinch would have been 2000, so it would have been 8 years later. Yeah. So I mean,
maybe he's getting I don't know, maybe just a little past the prime for the Grinch at that point. I don't know, but largely covered up in makeup, anyways. I don't think that matters for the Grinch. But no, I that he did have quite the. Like how Jim Carrey can just contort his face into any kind of emotion he wants. He's not doing that on quite the scale here for just a bellhop or the Gustavo, equivalent kind of. Here.
Yeah, no kidding.
This, but no, I love the him being like, oh no, yes, you have a limo outside and your pizza is like, please tell your father I'm so sorry, and like it's clearly just a fucking. Like, to think that was an act, like, he gets away with the shadow puppets to, I don't know, maybe if you're not expecting it, you truly don't know, you know. And maybe it's just because I'm in the know. But yeah, it's like the
cool jazz.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
fucking,
yes.
I love it.
Thank God
I
for
love
that
it.
little recorder little thing. Like that was used very well in the movie. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, it was like and he even had the recording of them saying, "Yeah, no, we are going to hit Duncan's toy store at midnight." The whole time.
Yeah.
He gave it to the police at the end for like extra evidence, but he had that from the very
he
beginning.
had that from.
Like,
that's why I'm like, it's so funny that he never goes to the cops. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to inflict pain upon these motherfuckers,
Yeah.
and then I'll get them arrested.
Yeah.
Which
And I
is
think-
so funny.
He's more confident that he has a better hold on these two men than the police ever would. You know, it's
Well,
like
obviously, they broke out of jail.
Yeah, exactly. And they were
Which
the Wet
is
Bandits for
so
a little
funny.
bit. So, like, yeah,
It's so
yeah.
funny that they managed to break out of prison. Like these two, Marv and Harry, managed to escape from jail. Fuck off.
Yep.
That is
In
so
a
funny.
fish truck, I guess, is how.
Yeah.
Fish export. Somehow, a big fish truck coming out of that prison got the, or maybe that's just part B of the plan. We don't know their true master.
They
how they did
Shawshank
it.
Redemption to that shit. They dug a hole. They covered it up with the Rita Hayworth poster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need the Home Alone 1.5.
Yes.
Marv, Harry and Marv breaking out of prison. But yeah, I love just, you know, it obviously would never happen like in the real world, but like I love that it's just like, no, we're doing this movie over again in New York with the same villains, and it's not going to make
So
sense.
good.
But fuck it, like we're just doing it because the formula is so good, and it not in the sense of like a Marvel when they started to get into their formulaic kind of movie making.
No,
this is like entirely a different use of formula, like formula not in a bad way.
I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of, and maybe it is because they are so nostalgic for me that I can kind of excuse it. But I mean, everyone excuses it. Clearly, these were both massive movies. Like, it's not and there are people who are like haters and are like, well, it's just the same movie over again. It's like, okay, well, it's not that serious. It's almost like it almost has a Saturday morning cartoon kind of feeling where it's like they know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it, and they're just like, fuck it, let's run it back. It's not like they did make another movie, but just it was a different kid, it was different villains, and that movie is notoriously not as big a deal as Home Alone and Home Alone 2. And I think I watched it once, and it was probably about close to 20 years ago, and I've never seen it since.
Yeah, I've never even seen that one at all. So yeah, I didn't even know it existed actually. Until right now. So that's Scarlett Johansson. What is in there? What the heck? That's kind of wild. That's the only name I recognize. But wow.
There's another incredible credit in this movie. The movie is edited by Raja Gosnell. He also directed Home Alone 3, but the more iconic movie for us that he did direct, written by James Gunn, is Scooby-Doo 2002. And Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Yeah, Raja Gosnell, the editor of Home Alone and Home Alone 2, did go on to direct Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2. He also directed Never Been Kissed and Big Mama's House and Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Pretty great kids film director and editor, apparently.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, if he's coming from the golden Scooby, you know, this dude knows film. Is what I'm trying to get at, I guess. He knows what he's doing. The bro's been at the top of the game, or I guess he would eventually get there. Actually, he was on his way. Home Alone 1 and 2.
Home Alone was just a stepping stone
Yes.
on his way to Scooby-Doo 1 and 2.
This is true, man. But wow, yeah. But this, maybe it is just because of, I don't know, companies buying up all these. It's all companies buying up studios and everything now, is why movies like this aren't being made. But like it feels like this is just kind of like an impossible movie that you don't get anymore. It is purposefully not taking itself seriously, but at the same time it is like the spirit of Christmas is taken very seriously. So it's like
Right.
it's comedic, but it gets you to cry. It pulls at all the right, heartstrings and everything. And it just feels like more of, oh, let's make this again so that we can have the cash grab, which, I mean, in the 90s, it's not like they're void of wanting to make more money. I don't think that definitely was part of the decision.
Definitely not.
But I think just like it was more of like, well, we still have to make a good movie anyways. Like it's not, now it's like, okay, we need to have
they'll eat up anything we put out.
Yes. Yeah. And that there's just a different air, I don't know, to the movies that it feels. But no, and I feel like I always come off as like a Hollywood is dead or like it's doom, and then I go and watch movies that I love and movies that are coming out that are still phenomenal.
And that's the thing is, we talked about the Netflix thing earlier, and obviously the death of the movie theater, if it is to come, would be a massive blow. It would be devastating to not be able to watch a movie in a movie theater. But the thing is movie theaters won't ever die completely. Maybe big movie theater chains could. But independent movie theaters will likely never really die out, and movie making absolutely will never die out. No matter how much the industry, could suffer eventually. Maybe giant, big budget. Oh, we're gonna make this so that we make millions of dollars back. Maybe that dies, and if it does, it would be for a little bit. It's all cyclical. It would come back around because people would miss movies too much, That's why I'm like, if the movie theater dies, it's temporary. That's how I see it. I'm like, it's not, it's gonna, if it goes away, it goes away for a little. Like, one of the things that I'm amazed nobody's done a nostalgic cash grab at is Blockbuster.
Yeah. Yeah.
How on earth has Netflix not just done that? Like, opened up storefronts with their movies on, like, they could even do, and I think this would be kind of hollow, but they would probably do like digital codes or something that expire after a certain amount of time. You go in there, you rent it.
Disc.
Exactly. You go in and you rent it, like, and maybe they do have like cases and stuff, but you open it up and it's like a little fucking QR code or some shit, like something to recapture that feeling. I can't believe Netflix hasn't even attempted something like that. I can't believe any of them haven't attempted something like that, because that would drive a ton of fucking traffic. I guarantee it. And I guarantee you it would also, at least temporarily, make them a ton of fucking money at relatively low cost. But yeah, I don't mean to give the bad guys any good ideas, but
they're running with it for free, damn it. Now they're listening in and they got it all for free. We should have sold it to them.
Well, that's the thing. They fucking thought of it. They just don't realize how popular it would be.
I mean, because this, like, a Blockbuster was like the perfect way for my parents to know if we need to buy this VHS for real or not. It was like if we rented it enough, then it was like, yeah, we bought it. It strangely, I don't know why, for Spider-Man, like this, we rented Home Alone at Blockbuster a couple times and was like, okay, no, we'll buy it. I think we got it for like Christmas one year. Maybe that makes sense. Why did I never get a Spider-Man? Maybe I did. I'm trying. I did have a Spider-Man 1 VHS. Maybe I just blew that one up too. I mean, I ran through that movie more than anything. But like, Blockbuster was the like first initial test of like, okay, do we buy this movie like for real? We'll rent it at Blockbuster first, but then if we like it enough or watch it enough, then yeah, we gotta buy the real thing. And like, I think it's just more of like the physical side of it has just fully died, and like there isn't that satisfaction of like opening up a case, loading it in the VHS or the DVD player, whichever, and like hitting play. It is more of just, all right, you want it to be fast, you want it to be instant on your streaming and everything, and go. So yeah, it is weird, and like it makes sense, I guess, in the business world. I get why they're going there, but yeah, it is like a sad.
It's distribution costs a lot less, like a lot less that way. But like the CEO Ted Sarandos of Netflix said like a few months ago, Movie theaters are dying. You know, my son, he's an editor, and he watched Lawrence of Arabia on his phone. Well, your son's a fucking idiot then, Ted. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's not exactly something you should be spouting. That's fucking stupid.
Lord, that's like, oh my God, I still haven't seen that yet. But
for a fucking fact when you do, you're not watching it on your goddamn phone.
Oh
you know,
my God. Like
my son's an
Christopher
editor
Nolan
in Hollywood.
Must have lost a year out of his life, you know, hearing that. I feel like, and he's not even connected to that movie in any way. But no, yeah, there's something special about just. It's not even just that the fact that the theater screen is just big and it's bigger. It's the whole, like, you're there with other people experiencing it at the same
it's communal.
time.
It's I mean, it's an experience. It's supposed to be sold to you as an experience, which is why I appreciate AMC throwing all those ads in front of the movie about how special it is that you're there. Throw those on TV, please.
True. Yeah,
like,
start selling the idea.
I'm already here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I'm actually going to change my mind before the movie starts. I'm actually going to go home now. Yeah, no,
exactly. Like, I'm already here, bro. Like, you don't need to be advertising the movie theater to me. I'm in there. Throw that fucking Nicole Kidman ad on goddamn TV on a fucking Monday Night Football slot or something. Let's get something popping. I don't know. I'm just it befuddles me, but I that's why I'm like, a lot will change in Hollywood if that Netflix deal goes through. I have very little doubt, but there's also this element where tradition does reign supreme in a lot of fields. And regardless of the monopoly Netflix may have on film and film distribution and all that, when it comes to filmmaking, that the heart of that won't really change.
Yeah,
and independent film will never die. Independent movie theaters, I mean, they can die. They're in danger of dying pretty much every day. But you know, like, another one will open. You know, like that. People want to watch movies together. That's just something that is true, and it might be small. It might not be as grand as your 20 theater multiplex or whatever, but you know, it'll still exist. You know, so I don't know. The thing that does get concerning though is like if Netflix buys Warner Brothers. And you know, all the stuff that is Warner Brothers, like the DC universe, which just launched.
Eesh. Yeah.
You know,
might not head to the theater for the next Superman movie. Is it just straight to
kidding.
Netflix? Oh, I fucking hope
well,
not.
and that's the thing, and that's the other thing is like my dad was asking me practically what changes, and I'm like, I also don't know that much does change practically. They might literally keep Warner Brothers as is and just own it now. Like allow them to not keep operating the way that they do, but like what's the point of absorbing a company if you're just gonna fucking kill what they do and then make it do what you do? Like wouldn't the prospect of getting
a paycheck, I guess, like it's just
right, but like. How much more money is that making you if you decide, okay, this really, really profitable universe that people just paid $700 million to go see a movie of, what if I just put that on my phone? What if I just put that on their phone? What happens then? Like, that's not, I don't know. It feels fucking stupid, is what it feels like to me.
I wouldn't even watch Home Alone on my phone. It's not even that it's a visually, like, it's not a masterpiece of a movie, but it's like, that's just not how movies.
It's not how you watch movies.
Were meant to be watched. Yeah, like I guess I have enough. I feel like of like I can lose myself in a movie pretty easily that I think I could get immersed in a movie on my phone. But like, there's no way. Like, it's so easy to get immersed on a big screen, or like having the room fill up with the music and like I don't know, everything else
and that's why I'm
going
like,
on.
Watching a movie on your couch, in your living room, or in your bedroom, or you know, wherever, on your TV is not. It's how I watch most movies. You know, it's not like that's the worst thing in the world. In fact, I love doing that. That's not something that I don't enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. But the idea of the movie theater being gone and me not being able to is a nightmare. Like that's the part that I'm like, that's. that sucks. I would love to have the option to go see, Dune 3, also Warner Brothers, on an IMAX movie screen.
Oh no!
Yeah, like it's a lot. And what does Netflix want to do with Warner Brothers? Concerning I don't know. Let's see. What if Demogorgons pop up in the next, in John Constantine's, in a Constantine thing because it's DC and it kind of fits. And, I don't know, like, is there more opportunity for slop, as it
Casablanca
were, with the
works
Casablanca
the way into
universe?
DC.
Yes, exactly.
Somehow.
Rick Blaine teaming up with Bruce Wayne. Yeah. I don't know, but regardless, I love these movies. Just because they do make me so nostalgic. They remind me of a simpler time, and a time whenever I didn't have to concern myself so deeply with bullshit, like Netflix buying Warner Brothers and that sort of thing. And so
we're not just getting to that age, right? Like we're not, or like I always said that I don't want to become the kids don't know how good we had it, sort of thing. But like I'm almost there. Is like it's not even like that. I feel like I had a better. It's like that they just don't even have access to it any longer. It's not even their fault. It's not even on them at all.
Well, what's funny is like the idea that your previous generations have always said you have no idea how good you have it.
That's
like
true.
We had it worse, which I can guarantee you with my entire fucking chest, we did not have it worse. Than Gen Alpha and whatever's next. They have it worse than we did. There's no doubt in my mind. So like that's not something you need to feel like, well, I never thought I'd be that. We should be we shouldn't be happy that we're that guy.
Yeah,
it should be the
true.
opposite.
Yeah.
Every exceeding generation that goes, you guys have it so much easier. It should be like, yeah, and thank you, by the way,
that's the
for
point,
that. Like
actually.
that's actually how life is supposed to go. You do want to make life easier for your kids. That is ideal, and we've just the next generation is kind of fucking fried, dude, and it's because of all sorts of shit, all sorts of societal factors that are just combining to be like, yeah, what if you didn't have to think at all and you didn't have to go anywhere and you could just consume shit? How about that?
Man, and all the while, I mean, you said it at the beginning of the episode, but I just looked at the director's name again, and it's freaking Chris Columbus.
Chris Columbus,
like,
yeah.
What the fuck? That's insane. Is he actually like well known in Hollywood? Is he Harry Potter?
Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Hell?
Chris Columbus directed a lot.
I mean, this is, I guess, producer wise. Yeah, I guess let me see what he's actually just directed.
I'm pretty sure he directed a Harry Potter movie.
Holy crap. Yeah. The Percy Jacksons? Maybe not all of them. I guess just one of them. But wow. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, if bro just popped in.
Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire, Harry Potter. I Love You, Beth Cooper. That's a good one. Most recently, The Thursday Murder Club, The Christmas Chronicles 2, Pixels. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting history for Chris Columbus here.
Chris
an
Columbus.
Obviously unfortunate name.
Yes, from 1492 to right now, bro.
1492 to 1992. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, 500 years in the making.
Wow, that's the jump in human history right there. We went from not knowing there was another fucking continent over there to Home Alone 2. I mean that's a weird thing to tie there, but no, yeah, I mean, wow, but man, I still cannot believe this is John Williams. I've been hearing it in my ear the whole episode, and it's just so classic. Like this is, I have heard this music for my whole life.
It transcends. Yes, it transcends.
I mean, and yeah, I guess the movie came out before I was born, so I mean, it would have been established as Christmas music before I was alive, but man, like the dude is just a freaking. I like to say, we got some upcoming that are really challenging him, but man, I don't think they just even come close yet. Actually,
no, it's
yeah.
There's a gap, It's competing for second place.
Maybe they do have the same talent, but they just haven't quite hit the longevity that
it's
they just haven't hit that
the range
stride
of time.
yet.
And I mean, like in terms of raw talent, it's like, is Kevin Durant the most talented basketball player to ever play the game? He might be. That man can score like a motherfucker. But is anybody ever going to be like, yeah, and he's got it? He's better than Jordan or Bron? No, nobody is ever going to say that. And if they do, they don't mean it. So whenever somebody's like, Hans Zimmer might be better than John Williams, it's like, is he though? Is he though?
Like, well,
no, there comes a transcending point where you just can't get better than the best. And John Williams, I think, is the best. And there might be those ones that talent-wise they've got it like that, but have you been nominated for over 100 for over 100 Oscars or whatever the fuck?
I think the true test would be how much of the world recognizes that soundtrack without even having to see the movie. Like, I feel like
the amount of iconicism under this man's belt is unbelievable. Like, here, John Williams has only won 5 Oscars, which is interesting.
For him, that is actually the only. That is,
that's quite the only to be like, only won 5. Whereas 1 is a fucking honor beyond your wildest dreams in Hollywood. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. These were both nominated for best score, by the way. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Nominated for 55 Oscars, and has won 1/11th of that.
I think at that point it is more of like, all right, dude, we know. We'll recognize. We'll throw you in there,
Yeah.
Like, we'll nominate
Again,
you.
it's what. Why didn't LeBron James get MVP every year from 2009 to 2016 or whatever the fuck, Like, that's the most valuable player in the league. It's just voter fatigue, basically. Like, it's John Williams again. We got to throw him a nominee. We got to throw him a nomination. Wow. He's, just too good. And I'll always love his music and all of his scores. But, I don't have much else to say about Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Love Catherine O'Hara, just last little thought. Always gonna love Kevin! I always love her. Schitt's Creek is one of the best sitcoms ever. And she's fucking hysterical in that. Catherine O'Hara, quite the career under her belt, and she's funny as fuck, so I'm always gonna love Catherine O'Hara. But I think with that, we can, I'll do some plugs, and then we'll rate both of the movies. Yeah. And then we'll get out of here. We've also got a Twin Peaks podcast, if you're interested in something like that. Fire Pod with me, a Twin Peaks podcast, friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike. I'm rewatching it. Joseph is watching it for the first time. And we're having a great time over there. We are currently covering The Return, Season 3 of Twin Peaks. Regardless, you should watch Twin Peaks. And then if you happen to want a little extra something on the side, we've got something for you. We also have a nerd shit podcast. It's called Geek With Me, where soon we are going to be celebrating The Force Awakens' 10th birthday. The movie turns 10 on December 18th, and we will be doing a live commentary of it. We plan on doing a couple episodes celebrating The Force Awakens, and I'm very, very excited for it. So that's on Geek With Me. Follow me on TikTok. Look up Colton Robertson. That's where you'll find me. Because I'm always trying to engage with listeners. I'm always posting stuff. It's a lot of fun over there. That's where you can get probably the best direct line to me is in my comments there. So go ahead and hit me up if you have any movies you want to hear us talk about, anything you want to give us feedback on. You can always leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. If you want to leave a review that's negative, don't leave a star rating, please. Just give us feedback. That'd be awesome. We have a review on Apple Podcast that's like, I don't want to complain. Instead of complaining, I'm going to leave this review and leave it at that. Well, you are complaining by giving us a 1-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can just give me feedback. I'm comfortable with that. And it doesn't affect our SEO at all. That's awesome. But regardless, you got to do what you got to do. If you feel like you need to leave a negative review, you do your thing. I'm sure this episode gave you plenty of juice to go negative if you feel like it. And if you feel like it, I don't want you here anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you here anyway. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, 5-star rate and review. Would appreciate it. That'd be awesome. I would love that. But yeah, let's rate this movie. How are we feeling? 1 to 10, Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Well, on Home Alone 1, I gave it a 5-star, I guess, on Letterboxd here. And second one, I did give a 4.5. But not a true 10 out of 10, I don't think. I don't know. You know, I don't think I'm going quite there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is a classic Christmas movie, but even just watching It's a Wonderful Life, you know, that is a 10. I'm so comfortable there. That's like truly, I mean, that was just great. Fantastic Mr. Fox, yes. No, they're 10. I'm not there with Home Alone.
I'm not particularly close either. Like they're good movies, and nostalgically they are incredibly fulfilling. I have a fun time watching them. But I you know, I'm probably in the 7s somewhere personally.
Yeah, I do love them, but they are just good movies that I have no beef with. I have no like, oh man, I wish they would have just taken it this route and actually done this for the movie. No, it's like I'm very comfortable with what they are. But yeah, I think it's it. I don't know the difference between, but it's probably just like if I'm at a 7.5 for the first one, I'm at a 7 for the second one.
Gotcha.
It just doesn't feel as Christmassy,
right?
Like until the very end when they do have all the presents there at the tree, and then he goes out to the bird lady, and then has like that moment. The music really swells. Then it feels good at the tree, but the first movie, it's kind of like the whole time. Even it's just the way the house is decorated, everything there. But so yeah, I think that is probably what I will go with is just 7, 5, and 7. For mine.
Yeah, I was literally like a 0.25 shift for both in the upward direction. 7.75 for Home Alone, 7.25 for Home Alone 2.
Okay,
they're both solid movies. You know, like I enjoy them a great deal. They're fun. Clearly inspired a lot of conversation beyond the movie itself, which I didn't really anticipate. But that is what happens sometimes. Yeah. The
good old I don't know, from Dawn to Netflix and Monopoly. Yeah, it's just Home Alone. It did it somehow. It got us there.
Home Alone and Home Alone 2, baby. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Good old double averaging. Just those little bumps. Is a 76 for the first and a 71 for the second. So
that seems about right. They're good movies, man. They are good movies. Giving them just above that 7 out of 10 feels right. On the old Cinementalists, we love those. But we will be back next week with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and I liked this format. I think it might be a good move to go ahead and do the 2001. You know, do the classic cartoon, and you know, if you got time, let me know if you've got time. We can go ahead and do the Illumination Grinch from last from a couple years ago.
I need to see the Benedictine Cumberpickle version of the movie. It's just I've never, and one that I haven't gotten around to that I don't know. It feels like the Grinch is just so classic that I got to get them all in there.
Might as well. But yeah, so we'll guarantee we'll do the animated classic and the Jim Carrey one, and if we happen to have time, we'll get around to the Grinch as well. But regardless, it'll be a similar format to this one, where it's kind of all encompassing, compare and contrast, talk about all of them, and that's a little different because they are adaptations of the same material. But that's basically what Home Alone and Home Alone 2 is. So it shouldn't be that different of a conversation, but I'm excited about it. We'll be doing the Grinch next week, and then on Christmas Day we will be discussing A Christmas Story, pretty iconic Christmas movie playing 24 hours on Christmas Day on TNT. So you have that to look forward to from us. But yeah, with that, I think we can conclude this episode of the Cinementalists. I was Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.